Hey there, Winos. This is Vince.WINE. Today, I'm really excited. I've got Juggernaut wines. I've heard a lot about Juggernaut lately, and in fact, I think it was #1 on Vivino for a long time, really famous wine app. And if you Google like super popular wines, it's actually at the top even right now. So there's a lot of hype surrounding this wine, and I'm really excited to see, is it really worth it? Let's pop the cork on today's Wine Lab. Hey, thanks for joining me. Before we get started today, if you want to be a winocerist, hit subscribe on this channel to become a wino today. I'll put out new videos every single week, so be sure to hit that bell icon to stay notified for more great wine content. Okay, here we go. I've got Juggernaut Cabernet Sauvignon, or Hillside Cab. This is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon as far as I know, 2018 vintage, and check out this incredible bottle. That's like the coolest part about it, that really gorgeous, gorgeous artwork there. Really a cool presentation here, and even the capsule is really, really awesome, and no covering on top, just that natural cork there, and you can see sort of that really cool lion head emblem on there as well. Really, really neat. But before we pop the cork on this bad boy and get it on the palate, let's jump into the website just really quickly and see what the producers have to say. Okay, let's check out the website. All right, so we're going to start with this really cool sketch of that lion featured on the label. That is so cool. He's got this big growling look to him, and all the wind is blowing. I mean, this is really such an alluring part of this wine. Really great marketing here. This is such a cool label. All right, as we scroll down, we've got two wines here. So there is a Pinot Noir and a Cabernet Sauvignon here. I did try looking for that Pinot, super hard to get my hands on, so that might be a good one for another video. All right, and the whole idea here is just overcoming these challenges. So they're really alluding to the terroir and how much of a struggle these grapes have, which is super important because we're sort of sadists in the wine industry. The more your wine grapes struggle, the more intense flavors you get. And the reason for that is because they produce such a great concentration of flavor when they have to try to survive. If they were pampered and happy, they'd be kind of washed out and bland. All right, so that's what this is talking about. And as we scroll down, some pretty cool little video items here that you can check out just by visiting JUGGERNAUTWINES.com. And if I scroll down, you can see some actual really great wine information here. So 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, 100% Hillside Vineyards, but from a variety of AVAs, which is why it only says California as the AVA. And typically, the more specificity you can provide on your AVA, you typically have a higher quality wine. So I really do like that they call out which AVAs they use, because at least it's just not some random blend. It is a very intentional and specific Cab grapes from some pretty high-end appellations for Cab as well. So they've got a couple flavor notes here. We'll put that to the test for sure. And some winemaking information, really cool. And it does see 11 months new French oak. So that is something that I'm gonna keep an eye out for. Hopefully we don't get washed out by these really vanilla and just superly over oaked flavors. We'll find out. All right, and then some really gorgeous aerial shots of the vineyards that they use. Really beautiful Monson and Indian Springs vineyards. Really nice. And if we click over on vineyards here, okay, cool. So they've got a little map here just sort of designating where these areas are. Again, these are super popular AVAs, so that's a great tell for this wine. Again, it's not just a scattering of random different barrels from all over the world put together. And again, we're back here at the super cool sketch. So this was exactly what I was hoping for. Just sort of gave us a little bit of information before jumping into it, but now it's time to pop the cork. All right, let's jump into the wine. Wow, check this out. I'm not sure how well you can see that. Really cool. It's got the Juggernaut name there, and then it has this the lion right here surrounding the cork. Almost looks like a tattoo of it, the ink on there. It's really, really cool. That's just such an awesome piece of artwork. I really like that a lot. That is so cool. A lot about the presentation so far, so I really, really hope that it's not just a gimmicky wine and that there's more to it once you get it on the palate. Let's go check it out. Okay. Here we go. First thing I want to tell you, as I was pouring that, it did look a little bit light, like a very bright red and low concentration look to it, but I don't want to jump ahead. Let's take a look. Okay, so I'm just sort of leaning my glass forward, and I've got my hand underneath, and I can see my hand pretty clearly almost to the middle of the bowl. So it tells me there is sort of a lower concentration on this wine, and concentration tells you a little bit about the body of the wine. So I have the feeling this isn't going to be like a boom, punch you in the mouth wine, but again, that's just from what I can see on on the site, let me not jump ahead. I'll turn my glass here and just see what I can see around the bowl, and I am actually getting some staining on the glass. You can see a little bit of sort of red staining staying around the bowl of my glass here, and that is really great because it does tell me that there is going to be some depth here. It's an indicator for the body of the wine, so that's a little bit of saving grace there. I was a little worried before, and as I hold my glass up, I'm looking for the legs here, and I don't see too many thick syrupy legs. They're sort of forming there, and that's again going to tell me about the viscosity and the body of the wine. So all of this so far has just been to assess the body. So far, just from sight alone, I'm looking at probably a medium-bodied wine, but we know there's been a lot of oak treatment on here, so let's see if that has enhanced that in any way. Let's take the nose. All right, I will volatilize the esters, or otherwise aerate the wine in my glass, and one more time, I just can't get over it. As I swirl it, I can see right through it, so it does seem like a lighter bodied wine, but now here I can see those tears, so I'm like really torn as to what the body's gonna be like. I guess I'll just wait for it to be on the palate. Okay, on the nose. All right, so first things first, it's not like jumping out of this glass, so I am reaching a little bit for the nose. Oh man, that is really a jammy condition of fruit. Kind of interesting, sort of like blackberry jam or raspberry jam. There's a little bit of menthol on there as well, which is kind of cool. It does have a touch of complexity to it. That is nice. There is sort of a dirty, sort of earthy thing happening underneath as well. Not all the way to pyrazines, which are those sort of like green things like bell pepper notes or like eucalyptus notes you can get in a wine. But it is sort of earthy underneath that, kind of interesting. And then your typical sort of like star anise and cassis and typical cab notes in there, but kind of cool that that's not the first thing that hits me. Thankfully, I am not getting overwhelmed by oak. I really was concerned that this was gonna have sort of that low-end sweet vanilla treatment in there, and it's not. It is definitely about the fruit first, so that's really a great tell for this wine. Let's go ahead and get it on the palate. Okay. Okay. All right. Here's the thing. On the palate, it's fine. It's okay. It isn't very present on the palate, and that's sort of exactly what I was thinking. That's why I spent so much time going, oh, what's the body gonna be like? What's the body gonna be like? What's the body gonna be like? Because I kind of figured it was gonna be a little light body, and sure enough, on the palate, it just doesn't carry a whole lot of presence. But then that finish rushes in, and I gotta tell you, even now I'm going, oh my gosh, that's so good. So I know I might have had you in the first half, but I gotta tell you that it really is very interesting once you sort of finish the wine. So really, really pretty. It's kind of toasty. That would be the word for it. It has a very toasty, almost to the point of like marshmallow toast flavor on it. That sort of carameliness that comes from a toasted marshmallow. That's what I'm getting. Sort of hazelnut, caramel, toasty oak flavors on there, which makes it really pretty underneath all that gorgeous red fruit. So this is super interesting. Let's get it back one more time. Yeah, this is sort of a late bloomer. I would say it takes about 4 to 5 seconds for that flavor to really come rushing in. It just has no presence on the palate until you swallowed the wine, and then at that point, you are just surprised by all of this rush of flavor that does come in. As far as mouthfeel, super light on the palate, more about the acidity. On the finish, you do get a grip of tannin, so this is gonna be a pretty decent food wine. I probably wouldn't put this next to like a really expensive steak or anything like that, but maybe just for an afternoon with some salami and cheese, kind of like a wine by the fire, reading a book type of thing. I don't know why I always think that. I literally never read a book just sitting by the fire, but it kind of gives me that cozy, just hanging out, drinking a glass of wine, Sunday afternoon feeling. And that's kind of what this is probably best for, just sort of that self-drinking. The finish is long. The complexity is overall about medium minus. The body about medium. Those aromatics aren't screaming, so the wine is good. It's just a well-made wine, and the best part is it was $20. All right, well, is the coolest thing about this wine the label? I would have to say yes. This is gonna look cool no matter who you serve it to. It's super impressive. The wine itself, it's a people pleaser. It's so approachable and just easy to drink, so it's gonna make everyone pretty happy. Are you gonna sit here and analyze it and ponder over the terroir bar and have a conversation surrounding that sort of sense of place and winemaking and character that goes with it? Probably not, but hey, like I said, this is just a fun wine. That's what it's meant to be, and wine just has to be fun sometimes. Okay, well that was a pretty quick one. I just wanted to check this out. Like I said, I've seen it sort of everywhere, and it's got a lot of hype and mostly positive reviews, and it's easy to see why. All right, if you enjoyed what you saw here today, please leave me a like. That helps so much. Don't forget to share this video with your wine friends, and until next time, winos, drink safe and drink well.
Recording.
Hey there, winos. Was that stupid?
No, that looked good.
Okay.